class students. Today I am going to teach you about a new lesson, social reading and analysis of map. So everyone, you know about reading and analysis of a map. This time already you have learned. You have learned in 6th class, 7th class, all these things. Reading and analysis of maps. Children, can you tell me what is the difference between a map and a photograph? There is a lot of difference between a map and a photograph. So I am going to show you. This is a photograph. This is the photograph of the map and this is a map. So there is a lot of difference in between both of this. So we can identify here everything by seeing only, but here you have to put the mark in the map where the specifically name of the city or a state is located. Here we can easily put the tick marks and we can write the names, but here we can't identify because this is a photograph and this is a map. So this is the difference between both map and a photograph. So now we are going to learn about how it is. A map, unlike a photograph, does not show any real features. A map is used in geographers to show features and information that we consider important about the place. For example, distribution of rainfall, soil types, population, languages spoken by people, crops grown, markets, schools, etc. So in the maps, we cannot identify all these things particularly. Why? Because in the map, it is shown a map, but in a real life, if you go and search that place, it is very difficult to find out. A map actually is a model of a place giving those features that the map makers considers to be of importance. A photo may be not able to show you how much it rains in a place and how it gets there, what languages people speak there. All these can be shown on the map. That is why people make different kinds of maps depending upon the purpose. You will know, you see some of the maps made in early times and how different they were depending upon the purpose. Now I am going to draw a map on the board. Why? Because this is totally different. We are having different kinds of map. How it will rain, where it will rain, we can know easily nowadays. But in those days, in previous days, how they are going to identify, how the different map will be. I will draw on the board. Now you can see it. This is one of the place. This is Meru. This is also one place. Different names are written. These are all related. In this 7 Dvipas. 7 to 8 Dvipas are there. So here easily you can identify this is the Meru part and this is the Madhana. This is the Gadha. Malyan. Malayana. Airavata. Milky Ocean, Salt Ocean, Dvipa, Sandana, Svata, Varsa, So many different kinds of names are there, children. You have to identify all these names and remember. Uttarkeru, Uttarkeru. So the names are totally different. What we are going to learn is totally different. Bhadravarsa, Bhadravarsa, Hiranayaka Varsa, Hiranayaka Varsa. And down here, Harivarsa, Harivarsa. One more name is there here under this only. Hemakuta or Kailasa. Hemakuta or Kailasa. Himalaya, Bharatavarsha. Here, Bharatavarsha. So these are all the maps. In older days, they are going to identify in the ages. Maps of down ages. This is the totally different kind of a map. From this we can identify different kinds of dvipas. Understood everyone? Now children, we are going to learn different parts. And one more thing, in this I want to ask you one question. Map making in India. So in this I ask you one particular word. Can you tell me the meaning of that word? Now I am going to read, you have to identify. When I am going to stress that word. From the very prehistoric times, people have been speculating about the cosmos Earth. Cosmos Earth. What do you mean by cosmos? The meaning of cosmos is nothing but heaven and earth. They are having a relationship between this. That is nothing but cosmos. So, speculating about the cosmos, earth, rivers, seas, skies, etc. Often this speculation was depicted visually. We have a prehistoric painting from Jowra. This is a prehistoric painting. What is the name of prehistoric painting?
Jowra.
Name of the painting is Jowra. Prehistoric painting. In Madhya Pradesh, showing land, water and skies. Cosmographic speculation continued in the Vedic and Puranic times, when it was thought that the earth and 7 islands surrounded by 7 seas arranged in a concentric circle, which Mount Meru and at the center. Just now I have drawn the picture and I will show you the picture here. Here Mount Meru is in between. So with this we can identify the islands of 7 dvipas. So if you are having reader, it is very easily to understand this all the names and the Meru. What I am going to explain, that is, it is a Mount Meru. So it is a concentric circle. So India, Bharatavarsha was located on one of the island called Jambu Dvipa. So just now I have drawn the picture. In this we have identified Bharatavarsha, that is here. It is under here in this Dvipa, Bharatavarsha. Just now I have drawn and shown you. It is in which dweep? Bharatavarsha is in which dweep? It is in Jambu Dvipa. It is in Jambu Dvipa. So our Bharat means India. It is under which Dvipa? Jambu Dvipa. Architects prepared elaborated plans for Vedic sacrificial altars and buildings, and a few sketches of these have survived, especially from the medieval period. We also get references to a number of pictorial maps depicting places, especially pilgrim centers, sailors who sail around the sea coast of the Indian Ocean. Too many have maintained elaborate maps and sketches of the coastline giving location of ports, shores, islands, etc. So already we know some of the sailors have sailed around the world and they have find out that India, like Earth is like a ball or a flat. So with this already you have learned in third class. I can give you the answer. Ferdinand Magellan. Ferdinand Magellan. He is a person who sailed around the earth and we proved that the earth is round like a ball. So with this we can identify about all the things, how he has searched everything. He sailed on the ship and he went by walk also. Everything he only find out and informed us that earth is round like a ball. The understanding of latitudes and longitudes helps in fixing location of various places. We find Aryabhatta using these concepts in the 5th century CE. It is not clear if and when these were used in map making. So I want to tell you about all these things. Apart from this, we are having 7 Dvipas. Just now I have informed you before this only 7 Dvipas are there. What are the 7 Dvipas? Can you identify the names and give me the answer? This is a one kind of activity to you all. Everyone write down. Find out 7 or 8 Dvipa names. This is the homework part for you all. Find out the answer and send me in WhatsApp. So in previous days, how they are going to use the statues, means how they are going to, nowadays we are having all those things that we can put the calendar, we can identify the phones, we can find out in a Google map or everything. But previous days, how they are going to identify all these things, means they don't have the calendar in those times, where they will write, where they will keep all the things, everything. Now we are going to find out that. In the Mughal times, Indian map makers were introduced to the method of the Central Asian map makers, and as an atlas were prepared in Jaunpur in the 17th century by Sadiq Ishfahani. He used latitudes and longitudes to determine location of the places in these maps. By the end of the Mughal period, when the British began mapping India, we learn of a wide variety of maps in use. Unfortunately, most of these maps are lost and only few survive. So one of the map I can show you here. With this you can identify how they are going to find out. Everyone, you know very well about the north and south. We can easily identify in the map north, south. When I am turning to the both side, my hand is right side. So right hand will be the east and the left hand will be the west. But when I am turning this side, this will be your east and this will be your west. Why? Because I am explaining you, that is the reason I am taking this way. If you turn this side, your right hand will be the east and your left hand will be the west. So in this I will going to explain you about longitudes and equator is in between longitudes, latitudes. So we can easily identify here. But in the olden days, how they are going to identify? So they have prepared one map and they have find out easily, like on one of the stone. So I will show you that stone now. This one. In this, clearly you can see they have put the marks here. With this they are identifying easily about the longitudes and the latitudes and the equator. So olden days they used to mark on the stones. Thank you.